What's up, everyone? My name is Eric Ayala, and this is the This Is Tattoo podcast. Today on the show, we have Chuy from Tiger Rose in San Luis Obispo. And it's a fairly new shop. I mean, not Tiger Rose itself, but his relocation in San Luis Obispo. It was originally in Pismo Beach. Beautiful shop. This new one is super beautiful. He's done a really nice job with it. And if you're a tattooer and you slang that sick ink, hit him up. Go get spot over there. San Luis Obispo is beautiful. I got married out there. It was awesome. But before we get into that, I really wanted to talk to you about something really, really exciting. Really, really exciting, because I finally did it. I finally lucid dreamt. I finally lucid dreamt. Do you know what lucid dreaming is? Answer me, camera. Do you know? Lucid dreaming is when you're dreaming and you know that you're dreaming, and then you just kind of can control the dream. It's pretty insane. I'd read about it extensively, like, you know, a couple sentences off of a couple different websites. You know what I mean? How you research stuff nowadays, you know? You go to Google, you type in a keyword, and then you look at a couple pages, read a couple sentences, and all of a sudden you know what you're talking about. So I just took to that, and I had been trying to lucid dream for a little while, and I couldn't do it. You know, it's really, really difficult to do. But I just finished a juicing cleanse. Let me talk more about how I was juicing. Now, I think it was interesting. One of the side effects of juicing, I mean, you know, I don't say I would be like, hey, you should juice. Everybody should juice. I don't think that's my stance. But what I did find that was interesting was that I had really, really vivid dreams during my fast. And I don't know, maybe that's a side effect. See, like when I did the juicing fast, I pretty much only I Googled juicing, and then I, you know, read a couple sentences off of a couple different websites, you know, as you do when you do extensive research on something that, you know, I don't know, could potentially be harmful. I don't know. You're not eating food, right? So, you know, I did my extensive research of juicing, and I didn't find anything about dreaming or anything like that. But I was having these like really intense dreams. And then last night was my last night of the juice fast. And I was having a terrifying nightmare about aliens coming down to wherever I was. They were destroying the planet, shooting beams of light that destroyed everything they touched, I guess. I don't know, lasers. And they were just like, you know, messing a lot of stuff up, you know? And then all of a sudden this big ship comes and lands right in front of where I'm standing. And I immediately, I don't know what it was, but I just came to the realization that I was dreaming. And before that, I was terrified. It was, you know how it is when you're in a dream and everything's super scary and you're just terrified. I just immediately had this rush of not just relief that aliens weren't actually destroying the city that I was in, but I had just this extreme excitement because it was something that I had been trying to do. So I looked down at my hands, which I think is something I had read on one of those, I don't know, in all my research. I had read you look down at your hands, and I looked down at my hands, and they looked weird, and they didn't have my palm tattoo that I have on my palm. So I realized then, oh, dude, I'm dreaming right now. And so what they say is, like, you know, the first couple times when you get it, you know, just kind of try to hold on to it. And, you know, don't do anything crazy. But I was so excited that as soon as I realized I was dreaming, I just started flying. And I wish I could tell you, I literally felt like I was flying, and I just had that power. And it was so much fun. Immediately, the aliens ceased to exist in my mind. And I knew, too, I'm going too intense with this, and I'm probably going to wake up. And I ended up waking up, which was a bummer. But for like 3 seconds, I was flying, and then it just started to like shed away, like the Matrix or something like that. Like I started to realize as I became awake, what was going on, and so yeah, it was. I mean, man, joy, pure joy of fly. I mean, imagine that you could just like start flying. It was insane. And then I woke up a little disappointed, but excited that I had actually been able to lucid dream and actually control something. And then I like kind of slipped back into a dream, and it was just like a kaleidoscope of colors. Like I was tripping super hard. It was really insane. So hopefully I can kind of hold on to that dreaming. I'm really hoping that tonight I can vivid dream again, or even lucid dream. I'm hoping that maybe maybe the juicing was like some sort of reset for my brain, so now I can start dreaming really intensely again. But I'm not sure, And honestly, if I gotta starve myself for a few days just so I can fly in my dreams, I'm probably gonna start doing that on the regular. But wow, I'm interested to see if you actually lasted this long through my intro. You probably just fast forwarded, and I respect you for that. You didn't come here for lucid dreaming. You came here to listen to a couple tattooers talk about their history in tattooing, and I'm sorry, I just had to share it, And maybe this is a little interesting anecdote, and maybe you hear this, and then you can message me with any experiences you've had lucid dreaming. Or if you haven't ever read about lucid dreaming or ever tried it, maybe you try it, and then maybe you fly too. Maybe we could just be flying together. How insane and beautiful would that be? We could just fly in our dreams and then maybe meet up somewhere. You know what I mean? Well, anyways, yeah, that was random. That was that's no way to probably intro a podcast, but I'm leaving it because I don't have a lot of time to do this right now. And so onward and upward. And I hope you have some amazing dreams this evening. And this is Tattoo with Chuy from Tiger Rose, and I hope you enjoy. Let me know what you think. I've got to get some other podcasts recorded. I have tried to do the phone call thing, and it doesn't sound good. So in person, I know with COVID, it's a terrible time to try to launch a podcast and then you try to record them in person. I just don't like. I honestly won't listen to podcasts if unless it's somebody I really, really want to listen to. A phone call, one person sounds good, one person doesn't. I don't want to do that. I mean, I might have to resort to doing that. But yeah, hopefully I can get some more recorded here pretty soon. That's it. I hope you enjoy. This is Tattoo with Chuy. Thank you. All right, Chuy. What's up, homie?
Not much. Just it's good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you, man. Thank you for having me, dude.
I'm really happy you guys came through.
Yeah, that's
definitely
awesome, dude.
Yeah,
I love it up here. We're at Tiger Rose Tattoo in San Luis Obispo. Used to be, I almost said Pismo, but the new shop. How long's it been open?
Well, off and on, 8 months.
Yeah, sick.
Just 2 weeks before the pandemic.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, right? What a great time to open.
Yeah.
That's like the shop I learned at downtown, dude. He opened in 2009, so right in the middle of the bullshit,
Wow.
Sucks, dude. But yeah, how's it been going then?
We're doing great.
Yeah.
I couldn't be happier. I mean, of course, since the pandemic, it's hard to build a crew.
Yeah.
But me and Christian, with everyone guest spotting, it's been amazing.
Yeah, that's cool.
And bills are getting paid, and I'm very happy. I'm actually, I'm still glad we made the move. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Once we didn't have a choice, but once we did it, it was a blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
And doing much better now.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. So what I wanted to talk about is just the history, like your history in tattooing.
The
and
beginning.
Just like stories and shit from your life in tattooing. So
Okay.
Yeah, basically, where'd you learn how to tattoo? Where, like,
I
what year and all that fun stuff?
Well, it was like maybe 26 years ago, something like that. I was 22. I had been doing artwork all my life, and when I was 18, friends would tell me, because I was into metal, so I did metal designs,
Yeah, sick.
and they're like, "Oh, those are, I want to get that tattooed on me," and my first thought was, I could never hurt nobody, not my
Oh,
thing. So
yeah.
I tried to sell my I tried to sell my artwork. I wanted to be an artist. I wanted to make money doing art. And my dad's the only one that bought a painting off of me, so that was not going to happen.
Yeah.
I was like, what can I do? I was like, oh, okay, tattoos. That's the next best thing,
Yeah.
right? And so I started tattooing out of my house.
Sick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you taught yourself then? Essentially?
Self-taught.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
self-taught. And I had never really made good money, you know what I mean? Except for a little bit here and there, and then all of a sudden I'm making good money every day.
Yeah. Tattooing out of your
I
house.
was shocked. Yeah,
Yeah.
just crappy tattoos out of the house, all ages, because I didn't even think about that. We grew up in the ghetto, and I had people lined out the door
That's crazy.
to get
huh?
tattooed by me. They didn't care if they were good or bad, or it was awesome.
Did it take you a while to like build up that get people like the word out that you're tattooing? Did
No,
it take a minute? No.
Immediately.
Yeah.
I was Yeah, because back then, 26 years ago, there was way less tattooers.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's funny now how I watch people struggle trying to find someone to tattoo, and I'm like, wow, it's so different now.
Yeah, it's
Completely.
crazy. Huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta you see these guys like giving deals and doing all that stuff. It's like that never would have been a thing. It's
I never
like,
had to tattoo myself or pigskin. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So, and I would have, but I didn't have to.
That's crazy.
No one cared. It was
Sick.
great.
Yeah.
I did. My portfolio had anywhere from Pittsburgh, Norteño to swastikas in it.
Shit.
And just being young and dumb, not even knowing any better. Just these are the people I knew, and they wanted those tattoos. And I put them in my portfolio because I thought they were cool. And I would take them to tattoo shops and be like, "Hey, do you guys want to hire me?" And no one was feeling it. Until it was, I ended up in a tweaker shop, and they're like, "Oh yeah, come work for us." It's like perfect.
Yeah, sick.
You got to get your foot somewhere.
Yeah. And so where were you doing? Like, where'd you start at? Then?
Pittsburgh, California
Okay.
is where I started tattooing out of my house, and then I got a job in shop Indigo Skin in Antioch. 3 months into tattooing.
Oh shit. Yeah, that's quick then, huh? You only hustled
Yeah.
those house tats for a little bit, and then
Yeah, 3 months.
And then-
I mean, my portfolio was terrible,
yeah,
but yeah, I just got lucky.
yeah,
So I got my foot in the door, started tattooing out of a tattoo shop, which was very scary, because
yeah. What was it like back then?
it was actually I didn't stay there for very long. I found Jerry's Tattoo had opened up in Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay.
And they're also in San Francisco.
Yeah.
And in the Mission District. And I thought that every tattoo shop that came from San Francisco was the best.
Yeah.
And so I was completely influenced by them, and I went and worked for them immediately. First I started getting tattooed by them, and then I got a job from them, and it was a biker shop,
Yeah.
basically. And my tattooing skills went down immediately, and street knowledge skills came up.
Oh, really?
I learned street knowledge there.
Oh, crazy.
That's what I learned. Jerry was a gnarly biker dude. He was in Vietnam.
Yeah.
When he interviewed me, I didn't see the picture right away, but there was a picture in his in his station, and it was of a Vietnamese man dead on the ground with his head, partially blown off.
Holy shit.
And Jerry was probably like 19,
Yeah.
just standing on top of him like a trophy.
God.
Yeah. So
Oh shit.
and I
He was proud of that photo, huh?
very proud. When I actually finally saw it, he saw me looking at it, and because I was in shock, and he was like, And in his mind, he's like, so you still gonna work here or not?
Oh, really? Yeah.
That was
He's
like a
that's
test.
kind of, yeah.
You know, and I, you know what I mean? Of course, I stayed. I stayed there for 9 months. And,
Yeah, you were just trying to like tattoo at the shop that you thought you would like learn and get better and do a lot of work. And
no one else would take me in.
Yeah.
So it was only shops like that would.
yeah, for sure. That's crazy though,
And,
man. Holy shit! So he had it like like customers would come in and they could like see this
Yes.
this thing.
He
oh
was-
my gosh, were people off put by it or what? What did
It
people-
was it was in the Mission District, gnarly ghetto neighborhood.
yeah.
And
So people
no,
are just
that's
like,
just the way it
"All
was,
right,
man.
shit,
that
dude."
was norm.
Do you imagine?
No
having
one
that
ever
photo?
tripped.
Yeah.
If they did, they just kept it to themselves.
Yeah, definitely. Holy
Yeah.
shit, man. So that guy was gnarly, huh?
Very. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very gnarly dude. Yeah.
Would you have like so you would tattoo a lot of bikers from and shit?
He
Like-
did.
Yeah, he did.
We didn't always tattoo him, but he tattooed all of them.
Yeah. What was
Yeah.
the clientele that came in?
Just a lot of people. It was always people from ghetto neighborhoods. They would come from the other side of the bay because we gave really good deals.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, we gave the best deals, better than anybody. Our percentage was, I think I got 40%,
Oh wow.
and if I did a credit card, it was 30%.
Shit.
Yeah. He also sold us water too. 25 cents a bottle.
He's making money off the guys that
Yeah,
way.
he had a
too.
huge fridge full of waters for us. Yeah.
What did he provide for you then? Did he provide anything or?
Okay, so when I got the job there, capacitors, immediately he took those off. He's all, you don't need these. This is useless.
Yeah.
They blow up, and then you got to fix your machine, and it's too much work.
You know what? That's so great. You're the second person I've heard say that.
Yeah.
Like,
They do blow up.
yeah. But that's crazy. But you
Yeah,
have
it's
to
out
be
of-
tattooing a,
Well, then
a
you're
lot with them.
Well,
before
then
the-
you're electrocuting yourself, or you're electrocuting your client.
Yeah, whenever the
Yeah.
machine, like the frame hits
Yeah.
your client, it electrocutes them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking
Gives them
nuts.
like a shock.
Yeah,
That's
and
so crazy.
So if you're like, yeah,
Yeah,
and,
my-
and fun at times, you know what I mean? Messing
Oh
with
my
the clients,
gosh.
you know?
Yeah, my
just,
homie's talking.
like you're annoying.
Yeah. So he went to your machines and he's just like, take these shits off. He cut them off and then he's like, you don't need that shit. It's just gonna
Immediately
blow up.
took them off.
That's so
yeah.
funny. Yeah, that's crazy.
So this is useless. We weren't allowed to have portfolios. We weren't allowed to have cameras. So every picture that got taken of tattoos, they were his. It was in the front, and he did them all.
Oh wow.
They never got, yeah. Just the walls were completely covered in
Yeah.
original flash.
Yeah. Do you
Ceilings,
remember any of the-
walls, everything. It all looked like Phil Simms.
Oh wow, cool.
And that's the rumor that it possibly was. I don't know if that's how much truth that has. I know that they worked together at one point in time, and I've seen Jerry paint flash, so I think he just learned from him.
Oh, so he developed his style by like kind of
Dude, it all looked like Phil Simms.
That's crazy,
Flash, yeah. And I had no idea who he was at the time.
Sure. Yeah.
And one time I was working in Jerry's station, being self-taught. You know, I didn't clean up after myself, and I got a phone call from him. You know, telling me he was gonna break my hands next time he does it again. Next time I do it again.
Yeah.
You know, so it was really intense working there. You know,
can imagine.
You had to really watch yourself. So, but I learned to clean up after myself.
Yeah. You'll learn
That
if
was
somebody
my
tells you they're going to
apprenticeship.
break your hand
Yeah.
and you know.
Knowing
Yeah.
he'll do it. One of the most memorable stories that I heard from the shop was there was this guy that owed him money, and Gordon worked for him. He was his little thug, you know what I mean? Little dude, but mean as hell. And they saw the guy at the bar down the street, so they went and got him and brought him to the tattoo shop. And Jerry cut off a piece of his tattoo and threw it on the ground and said,
Holy
you know, I want my money tomorrow. And then he made him clean up the blood. And apparently it was a lot of blood.
Yeah. We cut off a piece of your skin. I guess he was bleeding.
I mean, nice of him not to cut off the whole thing.
It's like if you don't pay
He's
for the
probably,
whole
I'll
tattoo,
probably
I'm gonna
kill
take
him
the
if I
rest.
cut off the whole thing.
Yeah, dude, that's so crazy.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
That's
and then he
how it
had to
was.
clean up after himself.
He made him clean it up. Yeah.
That's
And
so
and
gnarly.
he paid the next day too. So
Oh my gosh, man. That's so crazy. When you hear these young tattooers talk about like, oh, I wish it was like the old day. You ever hear like, you know,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like, dude, I wouldn't be fucking tattooing. If it was like the old days, I would have heard this story or I would have seen that picture and I'd be like, this shit's not for me, dude. Like, I just like to draw. I'm like this, like,
times have changed
emotional.
so much.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I'm just gonna go with it. You know,
Yeah.
There's a lot of old school tattooers that are like, fuck tattooing. I'm done. Like they've seen what's happened.
Yeah.
And it just gets to them and they're like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done. And I'm just like complete opposite. Just go with the flow, man. And
Yeah.
I still love tattooing. You know, I
Yeah, for
love
sure.
having people come in and doing guest spots, seeing you here. It's just that is so important to me.
Yeah.
Like extremely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love
Yeah,
that.
I guess you can go both ways, huh? You can just
Yeah.
be like, this shit isn't real anymore.
Well,
I
I've seen
don't
some
wanna-
great tattooers just give it up.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, that sucks. You know what I mean? That it's changed that much. You know what I mean? But I just want to go with the flow and just have fun. And it's the only way I know how to make money.
Yeah, right? The fuck else are
What
we
am I going to do if
Yeah.
I'm not tattooing?
Yeah. Yeah, right? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know what I would do.
I'm going to have a normal job.
Yeah. I guess I'll work at McDonald's, I guess.
Yeah, I'm good. I'll go with the flow, you know.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah. We also weren't allowed to go to other tattoo shops, tattoo conventions. We couldn't communicate with any other tattooers at all, because he was kind of the last of that type of atmosphere of tattooing, and he was just keeping us locked in, and we were all there. Everyone was there in fear.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Was he like was he worried about you guys progressing and did he want to teach you things and like was he like that that at all? He just wanted you to make him money.
I mean, I got threatened to get my hands broken a couple times, and the other time was the spring cracked on my machine, and I was doing a Reaper, and obviously you can't, and I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know about cracked springs or anything like that. I was just like, oh, my machine's weak. What's going on? And I would tell the guys, hey, my machine's not acting right. They're like, oh, you'll figure it out. And so when he saw the Reaper come back all, not black because I couldn't get it in there, he threatened to, break my hands.
Yeah.
And so I was like, something wrong with my machine. And so I showed it to him, and he fixed it for me, and that's about it. He didn't really like us fixing our own machines or not like that.
Oh, so he just like if you have a problem,
He
bring
did
it
it
to me. And
yeah,
then
he would take it in the back and do it. Very secretive, just old school.
he wouldn't show you how he did it or anything like that.
Just old school.
Wow.
Another cool thing about this shop, and this is crazy. So he did have an autoclave. It wasn't plugged in, and it was like up high, on a shelf, with dust on it about that thick. And what I'm going to change the subject real quick. So I was trying to get a job at a tattoo shop, and the guy asked me, how do you sterilize your needles? I'm like, I put them in bleach. And he's like, get the fuck out of here, you scratching piece of shit. I was like, what the fuck? So I go to, so I realized, okay, don't do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just do your shit right. Figure it out. You know what I mean? I was just young and ghetto and just didn't know any better.
Yeah.
So when I went to his shop, I was like, how do I sterilize my needles? He's like, oh, like this. He's like, see this bottle right here? 409 in bleach. He's like, he's like, don't tell the customer, but this is how we do it. Get your tube, get your needle, clean it all out real good, take it in the back room, and then you put the needle back in. The same needle. I'm like, I thought you weren't supposed to do that. You're like, of course you could do that. And that's what we did.
Holy shit.
And he bought really cheap needles so they would bend easy.
Oh yeah.
So if we switched them out too often, he would get pissed off at us for that. You could blow on them and they would bend.
Yeah.
It was bad. So every time one of our friends would come in or whatever, we would change the needle out for them. And I even had customers tell me like, look, man, I know you guys don't change your needles, but I don't give a fuck. Tattoo me. That was our clientele.
That's crazy.
That was our
They were
clientele.
just like, I want a deal. I don't care.
Yeah,
Whatever makes it cheap.
Cheap
Yeah.
tattoos, man.
That's crazy. So you would, when would you change them out? When they just stopped working? When they were too like dull? And
When they would bend or whatever. But he would get upset with us about that.
Did he make needles or he?
We made needles.
Yeah.
Yeah, we made needles back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. Oh, we only were allowed to use single needles, and like the broom shaped,
Oh yeah.
like the broom ends,
Yeah,
whatever
yeah,
they call them.
for sure.
We used those. I think there were 8 rounds. You know, we'd stick them through something and like open it up, and that took a while to get down make it all circular.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was a harder one. And the single needle was a sewing needle, a really big sewing needle.
Jeez.
And the funny thing is, he would do back pieces and stuff, and you gotta bury it. You have to completely bury that, you know. And so there would be like thin line blowout, thin line blowout, thin line blowout, because he was just trying to get it in there. It's like old school,
Wow.
really old school.
That's insane, dude.
So here's another story that it's got like a happy ending to it, but it's really ugly. So I've always had issues with drugs, you know, all since I was young. And when I started tattooing, I was just so happy to be tattooing, making money, learning all kinds of new things, and hanging out with the guys, and they'd take me to the strip clubs, and we were just having a blast, and I was finding my niche, you know. They taught me how to cheat. My dad never cheated on his women, so I thought you don't do that.
Yeah.
Then I go work at a tattoo shop, and they're like helping me cheat on my woman.
Oh my gosh.
Fucking amazing. for a 22-year-old. You're like, yes.
You're like, I don't have to stay faithful. You guys don't, so I guess it's fine. Fuck.
It was great, yeah. Anyways, but that's the far past. I don't cheat anymore.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm a grown up now.
So you were happy to be making money, so that like you start spending that money doing drugs again?
I
like
ended up. They hired this one girl, this hardcore lesbian girl, and she found out that I used to slam dope, and she got with me immediately and said, "Hey, do you want to go party?" And I was like a dumbass, like, "Yeah, let's do it." You know.
So you were clean at that point?
I was
then?
clean, yeah. I had definitely like I went to a rehab. I went to Walden House when I was like 17 years old, 17 to 20. 3 years I was there, and they were kind of like my parents. They kind of taught me how to live life normal, you know, because growing up I didn't have that.
Yeah.
And so I was clean when I got into the tattoo industry, and then I relapsed heavy, really bad. I was actually slamming dope with her in a car somewhere, and I missed the vein, not knowing that you're still gonna get high from it later. You know, a half hour later. I didn't know that. I thought, I'm not getting high. Oh well. So I go back to work, and all of a sudden I'm nodding out in front of everybody, and so he found out about that. So when I saw him next, the guys told him or whatever, and so we got together, and he spoke to me. He's like, "So is there?" He basically worked me up a little bit and was trying to get answers out of me. And finally, I got honest with him. I said, "Yeah, this is what I did." And he's like, "Are you gonna do it again?" And that was when I had to like tell myself, I have to leave this place, because I knew what was gonna happen if I said, "Yeah, I could do it again." You know what I mean? I knew what was gonna happen because I'd seen him do it to other people. So I said, "Yeah, I could get high again. I can't promise you I'm not going to." So he said, "Okay, pack your stuff, get out. Take me to your house. Let me get your pink slip." So he took my car, all my tattoo machines, and I couldn't tattoo within 50 miles of each of his tattoo shops. So I couldn't tattoo in my neighborhood no more. I couldn't tattoo in San Francisco no more. And that's just the way it worked. So my dad lived in San Jose, and I went and lived with him for a little while, started working at a tattoo shop. Oh, I actually went to the good point of the story is I didn't slam dope for 10 years after that.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah.
You
And
just did it that one time, and then he took all your shit, and you were like,
yeah, it taught me a lesson.
Yeah.
And he really, I hate to say this, but he really cared about me. It was tough love. That's how I looked at it.
Yeah.
A lot of my friends wanted to, take revenge, but I was like, no, just let it go. I stayed clean for a long time, and it was because of him.
Yeah.
And in a weird way, I appreciate him for that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I look at it now, it's like, I think he was just trying to help me out, man.
Yeah.
Stay clean, Chuy.
Because he wasn't. I mean, he took your shit, but he wasn't. Was he like super angry because he couldn't? He couldn't promise. What would happen actually?
He was shocked that I handled it the way I did.
Like in a
Like
good
he's
way
like,
shocked,
"What's
or-
with you, man? You're
Oh.
just all chill and shit, and all this stuff is happening to you." I was like, maybe he thought I wasn't gonna go through with it.
Yeah.
I just wanted out of that gangster environment, dude.
Yeah,
and I wanted to learn how to tattoo.
Yeah.
The guys that were with him for 15 years out of fear, not learning anything about tattooing. I was like, no, let me lose everything and start over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And thank God. So I ended up working. Oh, so I went to New School in San Jose. Hit them up for a job. Still had my crappy portfolio.
Oh, your old portfolio, because you weren't able to take pictures of any of the tattoos you were doing.
No.
Oh, dude.
Because
Because how long did you work over there?
I was
with Jerry?
At Jerry's 9-10 months.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
too long.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was just time to go. But I met Paco Excel at New School back
Yeah.
in the day.
Dang.
Yeah, and he told me he's all there's this guy that owns Wild Style Inc. His name's Aladdin. He was like a graffiti king of San Jose, and he's hiring, and I was like, okay. And so I went and worked because it was in San Jose. That's where my parents were staying. I went and worked for him. I called up Jerry, told him where I was working, just so he knew that everything was good. And I worked for him for another 6 months, and that was kind of weird. So I bought a cheap car and moved to Portland. I moved to Portland, and I
dang.
started working at Alternative Tattoo. And that's when I started learning about traditional tattoos, because Pat Martinewick's flash was all up on the walls.
Yeah.
And that's when I started learning about, I didn't even like it at first. I was like, what is this? This is terrible.
Yeah.
And then one day something happened, something clicked, and I just fell in love with it. And from there, that didn't, Frankie Fumano. He was, he used to work for, at Goldfields.
Oh, okay.
Him, Greg Irons,
Yeah.
Henry, Terry Tweed, and another guy named Doc. And it was just an amazing crew. He was in his prime, and that's how I met Henry Goldfield, through him in Portland. And he had a drug problem, and he would take me on these little sprees with him. He was definitely a thug. We had fun together, and then it got weird, and of course I wanted to get clean again, and so he fired me for whatever reason. I can't even remember now, but I ended up at Body Graphics, where I got to work for Guy Martinewick, Pat's son.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, and that's where he had acetate stencils in the back, millions of them.
Yeah.
Millions of them, all alphabetical order, anything you could fucking think of, back pieces, just unbelievable. Jesse Martinewick owns it now. They had moved locations, but they're still in Reno. that's when stuff started really like happening in my mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was learning how to do traditional tattoos by Dave Gibson's Flash. I would just copy his, and just do it, and that was my only way of learning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I met Eric Hogan, rest in peace.
Yeah.
He would come up to Hot August nights, and we'd hang out. I was clean and sober. He was clean and sober, and we hung out. We bonded. He would take me to art galleries and just open my mind to country music, and just an amazing dude. And then finally, eventually hired me, at American Graffiti in Sacramento, and that's when I blossomed. You know what I mean? And I got to work with Eland Hogan, Brent Patton, Wrath, Gordon, his real name now. I got to see Terry Tweed sometimes. He would come through and say hello. Rolo came through.
Shit.
This is how I met Rolo. I'm sitting on the porch waiting for the American Graffiti to open, and this guy comes up to me, and he just sits down next to me waiting for them to open too, and he starts showing me pictures of all these heavyset ladies that he painted. Mm-hmm. And I was like, this is amazing. Who is this guy? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it clicked. I was like, oh, I'm talking to Rolo.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that was a big deal. That was a
damn, that's a crazy big deal
right then. Yeah.
So what was he like? He just sat down and he's like, hey, check out this shit I've been working on.
We hung out for like a half an hour, and he was a very kind person, and just, down to earth, just talking to me, showing me pictures. And when I saw the pictures, that's when I realized and it just clicked. You know what I mean? So that was an amazing time.
Holy shit. So did he work there, or he just stopped by?
No,
to
he
hang
just
out?
came to visit Eric. A lot of people would just come visit Eric.
Yeah.
I got to meet a lot of musicians that way, and great tattooers. Met a lot of good musicians. Trying to think offhand who. People from Tesla would come through and say hello. Like the drummer from Tesla.
That's crazy.
And stuff like that. Yeah. Fang, the Sammy. I think it's Sammy who's the singer of Fang.
Okay.
He did a bunch of time, and after he got out of prison, he came and visited him. And
wow. And they'd all get tattooed and stuff by him, or they just came to
Rancid would come and get tattooed by them.
Really?
Yeah, they were really good. He was really good friends with Rancid, and he tattooed all those guys.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, way cool.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I wasn't even a big fan of Rancid until I went there. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I fell in love with Rancid. Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Hard
Especially
not
meeting
to.
them and them being cool.
Exactly.
And you're like, holy shit, cool.
Yeah.
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 So,
Very cool.
how long were you tattooing before you started working at American Graffiti?
4 years.
Okay.
4 years, and I was hit and miss. Even when I was there, I was a little. This is a good thing for some tattooers. I was lazy,
Yeah.
and I would just like if it was a shitty walk-in, I did a shitty tattoo. I just did a tattoo on it real quick, and one day, Eland had to fix one of my tattoos in front of me. Because it was the only time the guy could come in to get it fixed. Oh. They were trying to do it behind my back, but he had to do it in front of me. And it was extremely embarrassing, and I could have went two ways about it. I could have been like cocky and pissed off and a dick, but I just humbled myself, and I was like, you need to fucking learn how to tattoo right. And from that day forward, I was doing good tattoos, not realizing I was just being lazy.
You just put that effort into the.
I just put the effort into it, and I was like, dude, you're a good tattooer.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just didn't give a fuck,
Yeah.
And then I gave a fuck because he had only been tattooing for 2 years, and he fixed it right in front, and he made it look really nice. So it was a good learning experience for me, and I felt like I took it in the right direction.
That's cool.
And went from there.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. That's great. Okay, so let's just go back to Goldfields real quick.
Okay.
How long did you work there then?
I didn't work at Goldfields.
Oh, okay. You were just hanging out with him.
I would go to. I went to work for Frankie Fumano when he opened up his own shop in Portland.
Okay.
After he was at Goldfields.
Oh, okay.
And so Henry Goldfield will come up and visit us.
Yeah.
And that's how I got to meet him.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And I got to see him treat Frankie Fumano like dog shit.
Really?
He was real mean to him. Yeah, it was
Oh.
great. I was like, wow. It was different back then.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, he didn't have any art paper, and he got really ticked off at him and just, God, treated him like dog shit.
Wow.
It was awesome. Just to see it change.
Yeah.
Because Frankie's the hard ass, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for
And
sure.
to watch this old man just put him in his place.
Yeah.
It's just the old school thing, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. People don't do
Goldfield,
that anymore.
he's like, he had all these like crazy rules if you worked for him. I heard.
He's very strict.
Like you had like this list of shit that had to be done every single day. And
Uh-huh.
one of my friends worked for him, and he ran you down this list. It's like, you know, clean out the ashtrays, dust the sign outside, and like it's like every little thing to make the place pristine.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, how'd you guys get it all done? He's like, there's no way you couldn't tattoo and then also finish this whole list of shit he wanted you to do every single day.
Yeah.
But he was he was a hard ass about, if you worked for him, it was work. You know,
Yeah.
it wasn't like just go hang out and like do some tattoos and that's it. You know.
There's a very small percentage of people that didn't get fired from him, from what I heard.
Yeah.
You know,
it's just too hard to keep up. Probably.
just a hard ass,
Yeah.
man. And I'm not talking shit, man.
No, it's
Respect.
great. No, it's great. I mean,
It's just-
it'll teach you some discipline for sure.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he would, you know, treat his tattooers like they're all apprentices. You know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It never ends.
Yeah, and then you could just never, you could never do right. So yeah, you just fuck up one day to the point where he was just like, just get the fuck out.
Yeah.
You know.
I
But,
always loved how he would always like have Vegas carpet in his shop,
yeah.
because to him, that's how in Vegas they make it to where all the different designs to where you're supposed to want to spend money.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And that's why he put it in his shop. And Frankie Fumano had it in his shop too. It was unsanitary, but really cool.
Yeah. Would they change it out, or they just left that like it was there for years and years and years?
It was always the same as far as I knew.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Dang, I didn't know about
Just all these different theories on how to make money.
that. Yeah.
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 Pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. So how long were you over at American Graffiti?
I was at American Graffiti for 2 years. I worked with Eric for a year, and then he passed away, and I worked there for another year after that. And that was those were pretty dark times.
After he
just
had passed?
depression, man. Just when you lose your your icon, your boss, this guy who taught you everything and brought you into this world of traditional tattoos. Those very sad times.
Yeah.
I was gonna. My plan was to go to India. I was saving up a bunch of money to go to India and tattoo on the streets. That's what I wanted.
Really?
That's what I wanted to do. Because I think Freddie did it, so I was like, I want to do that. I'm gonna do that. Yeah.
Wild.
So what ended up happening instead was a friend of mine was like, why don't you open up a tattoo shop in Pismo Beach with me? And I was like, well, tattooing's just negative. It's dark. It's ugly.
Yeah.
That's how I looked at it.
Yeah.
And he's like, why don't you open up a positive tattoo shop? I was like, why not?
Yeah.
And then that's when I opened up Tiger Rose Tattoo.
Yeah. Dude,
Yeah.
You what? It's full? Oh, bummer. Sorry, video. We're just gonna switch to audio then. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to stop just yet.
Okay.
Damn. I had something I wanted to. What were we talking about?
I had opened up Tiger Rose.
Oh yeah, one thing I've noticed, because so far this podcast I've only interviewed owners of shops, and all of them reluctantly opened their shop. They weren't none of them were like, yeah, I always wanted to open a shop. Like somebody had to talk them into open a shop.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways,
Yeah, I was talked into that.
yeah. He's like, well, we'll open a positive shop. You're a positive dude.
Thank
you can
God.
you can change the way shops are. I know what you mean, man. It can be really negative. I quit like right when I started, because I was just like, man, my apprenticeship sucked so bad. And then I was like, do I even want to be one of these motherfuckers? You know? I was just like, do I really want to do this? You know?
That's the whole point of apprenticeship, though,
Yeah,
right?
no, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
And then, I worked at a warehouse for like 9 months, and then I was like,
Really?
you know, fuck this. Yeah. And my friend, he actually was like, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, you can fucking tattoo. Why wouldn't you? And I was like, well, now I don't have money to buy shit. I don't have, you know, any stuff. And then he was like, I'll buy you your shit. You owe me a few tattoos.
Cool.
And just pay me back. You know? And I was
That's
like,
awesome.
all right, sick. But anyway, so enough about me. So that's tight. So then what year was this that you opened Tiger Rose?
Let's see. It's been 20 years.
Yeah.
So 2001.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what
It
was it
was
like?
it was originally called Studio 805.
Okay.
And so I bought someone else out. I kept it Studio 805 for about 9 months, just knowing I was going to change the name. But when I bought this shop, I bought, you know, I had a full crew.
Yeah.
You know, and they were like, who's the outsider coming in, you know? And so I had to like take my time and think about things, how I wanted to do them, when I wanted to do them. And I knew I was going to do Tiger Rose tattoo. I just didn't know when. And actually, when I was working at American Graffiti, I was tattooing this guy, Chris Gudenkoff, and I was doing, you know, sleeves on him and stuff like that. And I told him I wanted to eventually apprentice him and open up my own shop, you know, in the Central Coast. And he said, yeah. And I knew nothing about apprenticeships back then, obviously, but I'd hang out at his house and I would teach him how to paint. And then when I actually got my shop, I told him, you will come with me. You know, I'm taking you from Sacramento. You're coming with me. And we both came up with the name for the shop. We were in a coffee shop somewhere, and I was like, come up with all these names. And I said Tiger Lily. He said Tiger Rose. And I was like, that's it.
Yeah.
That's the name of our shop. My shop is going to be Tiger Rose Tattoo. And so on the way down here, I wanted to give him a different name besides what he had. I wanted to give him something more catchy, you know, because that's what was cool, right?
Yeah.
So we're driving on a 3-hour road trip, and I was like, it took me a long time to come up with his name, and I said Chris Clean.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay, that's it.
Yeah.
And so Chris Clean was my first apprentice. It didn't go well. We were both young and hard-headed, and we both made a lot of mistakes.
Right.
And then so he moved on, and years later, obviously, he's doing very well now.
Yeah.
So I'm real, and we're good friends again.
That's
so
cool.
I'm real happy about that.
Yeah, it's important for sure.
It's very important to me. Now, you grow up and you learn a lot of things over the years.
Yeah.
And I've made a lot of mistakes in the past, you know, and so now that I'm older, more mature, you know, my whole mindset's changed. I'm a family man now, and you know, I like keeping my friends.
Yeah, right.
Friendship's so much more important
Yeah, definitely.
than business and money and politics and stuff. But
Yeah. So when did Chris started? He started with you
immedially.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's why I had to mention
he helped
him.
you open.
He,
okay.
as soon as I opened up, I was like, okay, you're gonna come tattoo with me,
Cool.
and just like that, yeah. And I just started. Like I said, I had no idea about apprenticeship. I just gave him machines, and I was like, tattoo. That's how we
Yeah.
did it.
Yeah.
It was a busy shop, and he learned off of doing walk-ins and stuff. You know.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's sweet, man. And that was that original location that in Pismo, right?
Yeah.
You were there the whole time until you moved here. Man, I love that shop, dude.
I know people miss it.
I know.
Yeah, it
dude.
was-
The first time I came and guest spotted because I had met Jason had guest spotted at the shop I was working at in Vegas, and he was like, "Dude, you got to come out to the shop. It's like a block away from the beach, and you'll just hustle walk-ins, dude. It'll be busy as hell, and you'll just do a lot of tattoos." And I was like, "Sick." I was like, "When are you going back?" And he's like, "I'll be there. You know, I'm leaving in a few days. I'll be right over there." And I was like, "Tight, can I come next week?" And
Cool.
I bought a plane ticket and I came,
Nice.
because then he told me too, he's like, dude, the flights there are cheap, because I fly from Vegas to Santa Maria. It was like $70 one way,
Cool.
So it was like 140, and then I had a spot to stay with him, and then I could just tattoo. And dude, that first weekend I was there, I was like, holy shit, this place is so cool. And you could just like feel the energy there, and people just come in, get tattooed, and man, it was so much fun. Jason would roll in at like, what, 4 in the afternoon or something,
With his hair to the side.
yeah, like just woke up, and I'd be there at noon, and then he'd tattoo till like 3 in the morning and stuff, and I'd be there with him.
Those were good times,
And dude,
man.
like it was crazy. People come in.
Those
People
were
come
good
in at like 2
times.
o'clock in the morning wanting to get
Oh,
tattooed.
yeah,
and shit.
walk-ins, huh?
Yeah, dude.
That's
It was
right.
crazy. Like he'd have
He
appointments.
did that for years.
And dude, yeah.
He did
And
that
I would
for
sit there
years.
and I was just like somebody super drunk. Like the bar just closed. And they came in wanting a tattoo, and I'd do it, man.
Yeah.
And it was crazy. You had ladies like falling off massage tables and shit, like just coming in sloppy drunk. And they're
was
like, "Can you
awesome.
get tattooed if you're drunk?" I'm like, "I don't give a shit." Like we closed a long ass time ago. I'm just so
Yeah.
here. Let's do it. Oh man.
That's real tattooing.
Yeah, it was cool. There was one thing, dude. I saw this kid because I got married up here. You were
Yeah.
there. This kid, dude. It was like an unusually slow day, and I was like, man, I really want a tattoo. So I stood outside. I saw this kid walking on the other side of the road.
I remember that.
I was like, yo. I was like, watch this. Remember? I was like, watch this. I'm gonna go make somebody get tattooed.
Yeah.
And so I yelled across the street. I was like, yo, how old are you? And he's like, I'm 18. I was like, come here. You're gonna get tattooed right now. And he was like, all right. And he came up, and I was like, do you have any tattoos? He's like, no. And I was like, oh man, this probably won't work. I'll probably have to find somebody else. I was like, but if you could get any tattoo, what would you get? And he's like, I want a cross on my arm or something like that, And I was
Dude.
like, sick. I was like, you got a little bit of loot? And he's like, yeah. I was like, let's do it, man. And he came and got tattooed. And I remember everybody was like, holy shit, Eric just like went and yelled at this kid and brought him in the shop to get tattooed. And then like
I thought that was amazing.
we were getting coffee one of the days right before we got married, my wife and I. And that fool was at the coffee shop.
Really?
And he showed me. He was so proud of his tattoo.
That's
He's like,
so
dude,
cool.
remember? And he had tattoos all over. He's like, I got all these at Tiger Rose.
He ruined them.
Yeah, he had a bunch of.
That's so great.
And it was just like, it was just a few years later. And he's just like had tattoos, and he's so proud of his cross. And he was
Yeah.
like telling my wife the story, and it was cool.
First tattoo, good experience.
Yeah,
It's so important.
yeah, I ruined him with that good experience.
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, we just bullshitted, and it was fun, dude. I was like, this is how you just make a tattoo happen, dude.
That's awesome. I mean, it's better than a bad experience with a tattoo and never getting tattooed again.
Yeah, and that's
You know?
that's probably more common, unfortunately.
Very.
Yeah. Yeah, people don't know how to.
Yeah.
Man.
That is the bad part about doing shitty tattoos, I guess. I guess it was cool if they keep getting them.
Yeah, or you just have to. Maybe the cover-up experience will be good.
I gotta tell you this.
Yeah,
I love shitty tattoos.
me too. Yeah,
I fucking love them, man. And people think I'm being sarcastic when I'm looking at them. I'm like, dude, I love this. They're like, shut the fuck up.
yeah, I'm
no,
like that too.
I love it, dude.
Yeah.
Raw, just
I think we just love tattooing,
Yeah.
all aspects of it.
Yeah.
I just love looking at tattoos. Whenever I'm working with people, I gotta be looking at what they're doing. And even if it was like last night, you were doing that like that little like flower, and the girl was moving all over the place.
good lord. Yeah.
And I looked at it, and I was like, that's sick though, like whatever, she's moving.
It was
you
a
know what I
long
mean?
line.
That was a long ass line. That
I'm
was
like,
so funny.
Stop moving. Stop moving.
Stop
Stop
moving.
moving. So I finished the line. I'm like, are you not hearing me at all? She's
That
like,
was
I'm
funny.
so sorry.
Jacob was like, he's like, dude, he really just like tapped the girl on her shoulder, because she's talking, and she's like, with her other arm, she's getting her arm tattooed, and with her other arm, she's like, like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, stop moving, stop moving, stop moving. What the hell? And you tapped her on her arm, or you're like, are you not hearing me? And I was like, sure. That was just a genuine question.
The
Like,
old school
can you
Chuy
just
came
not-
out.
Yeah.
It's like, I love tattooing
so
college
funny.
students.
Yeah.
But yeah, every now
That
and then
shit
I
was
get
funny
upset.
though. No, it was cool. But you know what I mean? Like every single tattoo, and that's just like a little like flower walk in, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even that shit I love looking at. You know? Like I just love tattooing. You
Yeah.
know?
Like I said, I've changed with it, and I love doing outline tattoos now, and
Yeah.
I have no problem charging a little extra because that's what you're supposed to do. It's a finished tattoo,
Yeah, for sure.
and it took me a minute to get past that.
Yeah.
It's like your tattoo's not finished. You're gonna come back and finish it. And like, no, they're
No,
not.
they just want that outline, and that's it. So charge them for a regular. Yeah.
Exactly. That's the way it works. I
Yeah,
guess.
dude. Yeah, man. Yeah,
Cool.
it's important, dude. To just be in love with tattooing all aspects of it.
It is extremely
You know?
important because
Yeah.
it's not a job anymore.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, as soon as you start, I met this dude before I even learned how to tattoo, and I'm not gonna name him or anything, but not like anybody would know who he is, anyways. But he was telling me, I was like, because I could see he was just kind of like burnt out, you know. I was watching him; he was tattooing me, and he just seemed like just over it, you know.
Yeah.
And he was doing something cool. He did like a rose in my ditch, like with a banner like that says "Mom," you know.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, every tattoo he did on me was cool, but he was just like, man. I was like, how you doing, man? He's like, man, I don't know, just working, doing my job. And I was like,
Yeah.
really? Is tattooing a job then? He's like, yeah, like anything. Like, it's like it just becomes a job. And I always remembered that. And when I was learning how to tattoo, and he was like, you know, when you hit like the 10-year mark, he's like, I just hit 10 years, and I was like, I'm just kind of over it, you know? And I was always like, I always thought about that. And then I hit the 10-year mark, and I was just like, man, I really don't want it to ever just feel like a job or like something I have to do. I really
Yeah.
want it to always be like this thing I'm super excited about, like
Yeah.
it was when I first started to learn how to tattoo. And thank God, dude, I just love it. You just have to be,
It's a mindset. You
just
have to
gotta-
make a choice.
yeah, for sure.
Do you want to, if you're going to tattoo for the rest of your life, do you want to be happy and enjoy it, or do you want it to be a job?
Yeah,
If it's just a job, you're probably going to end up doing something else eventually.
right. Yeah.
So I've been there.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
we go
I've been
through
there.
phases. You know,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like a wave.
Definitely
you know?
been there.
Yeah. Yeah, you're definitely in love with tattooing and shit. Like it's awesome to see. You know.
Thank you.
Yeah.
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 I'm the happiest I've been in a long time. So,
Yeah.
and then of course, I mean, it's just me and Christian. So and it's expensive here.
Yeah.
And so I want to make that money.
Mm-hmm.
And so I might as well enjoy myself doing it.
Right.
Right? It's
Yeah.
80% of your life
Yeah.
tattooing. And so it just feels good. It feels
Yeah.
good to have guest artists. Feels good to have you here. And just, you know, it's a brand new place,
Mm-hmm.
you know, which is nice. You know, I got a little bit burnt out on Pismo Beach anyways, you know, 18 years in a tiny little town. So it's a fresh start and super excited about it.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
because you got more. Your clientele is a little different here, and it's not.
It's
not
day- it's
so
day
much,
and night.
Yeah.
I loved it over there, but it was all about the hustle. You know, like,
Yeah.
what can you do this for? Hook me up.
Yeah.
And like, what do you mean? And
Yeah.
drunk people. And it's like, I thought that the college students, honestly, I thought they'd be bratty
Yeah.
here, and they're not. They're respectful, cool, down to pay, not tripping on money. And it's like, thank God.
Yeah.
It makes your life a lot easier.
Yeah.
Christian does more piercings here. It's like,
That's dope, man.
yeah.
Yeah, because Pismo is just like there's a busy season, and it's just all these people that don't want to spend very much money, and they're really trying to like nickel and dime you. You
And
know?
the locals don't want to come there because of the parking.
Yeah,
So now we're getting more locals coming here, which
Right.
is nice.
that's cool. It's
Yeah.
crazy how parking can be like that.
It
you
just
know?
got worse
Yeah.
over the years. Yeah.
Yeah, it was it's impossible to find a place to park or even drive down that little strip of road right in front of you.
Yeah.
It
They
was
need
just
a
like-
parking structure,
Yeah,
a
for sure.
huge one.
Yeah,
But yeah, anyways.
Yeah.
I'm in slow.
yeah, it's tight. Come guest spot.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, homie. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
No, I can't think of it.
Yeah, I
I'm
think
just
we got a lot of the
stoked
good
that-
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, for
stoked
sure.
to see you. Stoked to talk to you.
Yeah, man. Well, thanks
Yeah.
for doing this, man.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right, buddy. Well, I think that's good.
Cool. Right on.